Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of USPBL Baseball. My name is Rich Borland. I will be on the call solo today as we are short just a few interns. What we were not short of last night, though, was hits. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers put on an onslaught, a barrage, a clinic, if you will, at the plate, producing 10 runs on 14 hits. The Mammoths could only muster 2 total runs, even though they had double-digit hits as well. Jerry Salisbury of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers started on the mound and earned his first win of the season. He went 5 innings while allowing 2 runs on 7 hits, and he also allowed 2 walks but struck out 5 batters in the process. The most impressive part about his night was that he didn't let the Mammoths put together a huge rally, which was the problem in his last few starts. Outside of the doubles from Kitson and Pagano in the third, he did not allow any extra base hits. Cameron McKenzie finished out the game on the bump as he made his second relief appearance of the season. His last few starts hadn't been up to his standards, but this was one of the most impressive outings thus far in a Beaver uniform. For the 4 final innings, he gave up 3 hits but did not allow any walks or runs while matching Salisbury with 5 strikeouts. As for the offense, 5 Beavers had multi-hit games. Thomas Rulis, Rob Paller, Jack Haranek, and James Batley and Ryan Smith each had 2 hits to help demolish the Mammoth staff. In total, they had 38 at-bats as a team, and 13 of their 14 hits were singles. As we look on to Sunday Funday at Jimmy John's Field, we have our frozen friends from Fairy Tale Entertainment as the Snow Queen, Princess Anne, and Ollie the Snowman are in the house. Hopefully Ollie finds a freezer at some point because it is a hot one here today in Utica, Michigan. The Beavers will look to keep their bats hot after arguably their best performance of the season. Our pitching matchup features 2 talented arms out on the rubber today. Mark Seiler coming to us from San Diego State. His parents actually traveling all the way from California to watch their son in attendance today. And then Joe Doherty out of Grace College pitching for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Now, it looks as if the starting lineups are just about ready to be finished here at the ballpark. And we'll give a little background on both of these pitchers as the day continues, but it looks as if we are just about ready for our national anthem. Once again, Rich Borland, your broadcaster here today. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers sitting at 11-12, looking to go to 500 for the first time in a long time. And then the Hoppers sitting at 500 at 12-12, looking to move up past that 500 mark here today. Big implications. Beavers looking to win their second straight. Hoppers trying to keep their winning ways going. And we will head down to the field as we finish out the Eastside Diamond Hopper starting lineup coming out of that third base side. And we will head down to the field for our national anthem as we are getting ready here for Sunday baseball here at the ballpark as we will conclude Week 10 at Jimmy John's Field in the 2018 season. So now we'll head down to the field for the national anthem, and when we come back, we will have first pitch coming to you live here from Jimmy John's Field.
Performed this afternoon by none other than Dakota Connor.
Another beautiful rendition of our nation's anthem, and with that, we are ready for our Sunday matinee contest here in Week 10 of the 2018 USPBL season. Once again, Rich Borland, your broadcaster here this afternoon on the call solo. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and Eastside Diamond Hoppers getting ready for action. The man on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Mr. Joseph Doherty. Doherty on the season, an 0-0 record with one start under his belt coming on July the 6th. Back when he pitched against the Westside Woolly Mammoths, where he went 5 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, had 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. And we'll see if he can last more than 5 innings in this contest against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, but it will not be easy. The Beavers' offense showing up big time yesterday, getting 14 hits, 13 of them for singles, and they absolutely antagonized the Westside Woolly Mammoths pitching staff. And would be shocked to not see some more of the same here this afternoon. But Doherty coming to us from Grace College, where in his time there he had a 6.75 ERA in 54 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 75 hits, 41 earned runs, 21 walks to 42 strikeouts, so doubling up the strikeouts compared to walks, always a good sign. He allowed 13 doubles, a couple of triples, a couple of home runs. And overall, coming to us from, like I mentioned, Grace College, in his time there, also had a little bit of offensive stats as well. But as far as the pitching goes, on the season, he had a good first outing, even though he did not get the victory. Looking out to get that victory here this afternoon will be the right-hander. He has a fastball that comes at us at about 88 to 90 miles an hour, a breaking ball, a changeup, and a slider that he just started working on here with the USPBL, and Justin Orndorff, our Director of Baseball Operations, and the delivery value system that he had created. And we'll see how much he implements that slider here today. The defense behind him, Trey Bridus in left, Cody Rudicilli in center, Jack Kraft in right, and then from left to right in the infield, the newcomer, Brian Davis, in his second game with these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Kevin Watley at shortstop, the only Eastside Diamond Hopper to participate in all 24 games. Over at second base, Gunnar Buhner. And over at first base, the other newcomer named Brian, Mr. Brian Pereira, also in his second game with these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So a couple of new Brians on the corners for the infield of these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And then behind the dish, helping out Mr. Doherty of the battery, Mr. Thomas Lacongo will be doing the catching. Nicholas Campana, Thomas Rulis, Rob Paller, Christian Helsel, Jack Haranek, Adam Gauthier, Seth Freed, James Batley, and Ryan Smith, your lineup for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Pretty much the exact same lineup that we saw in last night's contest. The only difference, Adam Gauthier in for Hunter Wood, and we are ready for baseball here at Jimmy John's Field. First pitch, 1:04 p.m. It is 89 degrees here in Utica. Going to stick around that area for just about the entire part of the game. As back to work goes Doherty, misses the zone a couple of times against the leadoff hitter Nicholas Campana, who in last night's contest against the Westside Woolly Mammoths went 1 for 5, did have a single and a run scored last night. So we'll see what Campana can do here in the contest today. His first game of the season, that was last week, where he went a perfect 3 for 3 in his debut against the Unicorns back on July the 10th. Had a home run and 3 RBIs in the contest. So we'll see if Campana can get the bat going again. And not needing to even lift the bat off of his shoulder to start this one. Tough start for Joseph Doherty. And Campana reaches base safely to start this one on 4 straight pitches that missed the zone. So now standing in, Mr. Thomas Rulis. Rulis with the 4th best batting average in the league coming into play today as it sits at 304. Also has the fifth most hits in the league with 24 last night against the Mammoths. Went 2 for 5 with 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. Rulis, a guy who makes some of the best contact, can spread it from the left field line to the right field line. Anywhere you want him to put it, he can put it there. He does only have the 1 home run on the season. Not a ton of power for Rulis, but one of the most consistent hitters in this league throughout. 0-1 pitch to Rulis, the 87-mile-an-hour fastball outside. He swings at it, fouls it off, and quickly the count 0-2 on the batter. Absolutely gorgeous day for baseball here at Jimmy John's Field. Got the Princesses out in attendance as Rulis fights one off to the left side. Brian Davis trying to make a almost impossible play, and with where it was placed down that left field line, Davis does everything he can to try and make the play, but too much speed down that line for Rulis, and he gets the infield single, bringing runners to first and second. So a good start for these Beavers offensively, picking up right where they left off last night, getting their first 2 base runners on. And last night in the contest, the Beavers got their leadoff hitter on in 5 of the 9 innings. Did not get their leadoff man on in the first inning, but they actually got 3 runs in the top of the first yesterday against the Mammoths, even though their leadoff man, Campana, grounded out to third base. He stands over there at second now with that leadoff walk. Rulis with the no-out single, and now Rob Paller, another hot bat with these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, arguably one of the hotter bats in the league. Last night, Paller went 2 for 3, had 2 singles, 3 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Also had a sacrifice flyout. Paller with 16 runs scored, good for second in the league, has 6 doubles as well. That's good enough for third in the league. Paller, one of just, count them, 4 Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers to start in all 23 games for these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Paller also with 4 home runs, 15 RBIs on the season, 84 at-bats coming into play today. Doherty back to work, thinks about that runner on second. Campana brings that front leg up, falls back towards second base, but doesn't have to let go of the baseball. Just keeping him honest is the right-hander. Campana, like I mentioned, coming to us from Grace College, trying to get his second start under his belt. Hard ground ball hit over to the first base side where Brian Pereira fields it, and then over at first, Paller ends up beating the play. So reaching on the fielder's choice is Paller. Rulis is retired at second via the 3-6 putout. And getting to third base over there at the hot corner is Campana. So Pereira doing everything he can to try and get one of the lead runners, and he does so by retiring Rulis over at second. But Paller on that hard ground ball reaches on the fielder's choice. Runners now at the corners, and we'll see what Lukongo will do if Paller tries to take second base. Meanwhile, Christian Helsel coming up to the plate for the first time today. He's playing hot as well as of late. Christian Helsel 1 for 4 last night with a single, a walk, and a run scored. He, like Paller, one of those 4 Beavers to play in all 23 games on the season. Doherty missing this one inside. Helsel ready for the 1-1. Strike called, 89-mile-an-hour fastball, painting the outside black. Helsel quickly down in this count, 1-2. He had 3 different at-bats last night where he got down to 2 strikes, and he walked in one of them, grounded out in another, and popped out in another. The 1-2 pitch, outside corner, same exact spot as the previous pitch, and Helsel cannot pull the trigger. Nice job there from Doherty to slow this Beaver offense up, at least for now, but still not out of the woods yet with Jack Haranek coming up to the plate. Haranek, a menace out there at the plate for these Beavers all season long. Had the 12-game hitting streak to start the year, and he's really not even slowed down. The second best batting average in the league coming into today with a .318 average. Third in the league in hits with 27. Second in the league with 8 doubles. He's got 85 at-bats. And again, another one of those guys with all 23 starts on the year. Start number 24, of course, coming here today. Haranek on the first pitch from Doherty. In on the hands, and Haranek can't hold back on it. Doherty doing everything in his power to try and get out of this early inning jam after allowing Campana with the leadoff 4-pitch walk, and then Rulis with an 0-2 count base knock. The fielder's choice from Paller ends up getting an out, but Haranek fighting one off and taking one the opposite way down in that corner, and you see Paller not picking up Coach Newell over there in the third base coach's box. He was waving Paller around, but Paller did not see it. He had to pick him up as he was rounding second base, but he was not able to do so. But Jack Haranek continuing to swing the bat well and gives the Beavers their first run of the game. So Campana comes in to score, matches his run total from last night's game. Over at third base is Paller. He did not come in to score as much as Chris Newell wanted him to. Haranek gets only the 1 RBI with that double. And now Adam Gauthier, the only batter in this lineup for the Beavers that did not participate in last night's contest. First pitch swinging is Gauthier. Pops up in the shallow infield area right down the middle, and the second baseman, Gunnar Buhner, picks it up. So 1 run does come in to score. Doherty with 17 pitches in the first frame. We head to the home half. Beavers out in front by 1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland here with you. If you're just joining us, Beavers getting a run in the top half of the first inning. Single from Thomas Rulis and an RBI double from Jack Haranek, giving the Beavers an early 1-0 lead. We head to the home half of the first. Mark Seiler out there for his 9th start of the season, 10th overall appearance. Parents in the house today all the way from California. They came up to the booth and had some kind words for me after traveling all the way from across the country to see their son in action. He fights against Trey Brightus to begin the afternoon for him. 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike to start. And Seiler, a 4.81 ERA as this ball's lined out there to left field, dropping right in front of Paller. Brightus with a good start offensively to get this one going, but back to Seiler. Seiler coming to us from San Diego State University, where he emerged as a regular weekend starter for the Aztecs during the 2014 season. Competed also in the Palm Springs Power of the Southern California Collegiate Baseball League during the summer of 2013, where he made 18 appearances, including a pair of starts, where he finished with a 3-0 record, had 2 saves, a 3.21 earned run average with 47 strikeouts and 42 innings pitched. But as he throws a strike to the 2-hole hitter Brian Davis on the inside part of the plate, Seiler with the 3-2 record coming into play today, 43 innings pitched, 23 earned runs on 45 hits, 21 walks to 25 strikeouts. Seiler, a guy who, pitches to contact quite often, and if his defense is there, it'll be a successful day on the mound for Seiler. The right-hander, a former draft pick from the New York Yankees organization. Was drafted in the 19th round in 2015 by the Yankees. This ball hit hard down that first baseline. Haranek transitions from a first baseman to a goalie and keeps that one in front of him, but it goes just foul right near that first base bag, so everybody will have to retreat to where they went. Davis, in his debut on Thursday against the Utica Unicorns, he went 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored, also struck out twice. Also a newcomer, making his second start on the day as well. Brian Pereira, the on-deck hitter. A couple of Bryans for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers trying to help out the team offensively as they are trying to get the bats going just as much as the Beavers have as of late. But on the 1-2 pitch, that one, fastball, missing on the outside part of the plate. Good eye for Davis to not go after that one. Seiler features a fastball, a curveball, a slider, a changeup, and a sinker. A very wide-ranging artillery out of that right hand. Can bring anything at any moment. That one looked to be the changeup at 83 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. Davis sticks the bat out, fouls it off, and stays alive. But home plate umpire, Mr. Sal Giacomontonio. Our first base umpire, Mr. Nate Thompson. He's currently out there right near second base. Davis ready for the 2-2. He chases after it. Davis goes down. First victim for Mark Seiler. Parents got to be happy here today in attendance. So you got to imagine nerves playing a little bit of a factor for Seiler compared to most starts. Want to impress the parents that, made the sacrifice, came all the way out to see their son pitch in person. But for all you other parents that are tuning in, I know most of our viewers here at the USPBL YouTube channel are parents. And whenever you come out, feel free to stop by the booth, say hi, and would love to have you in attendance here at Jimmy John's Field if you haven't been yet. It's a great ballpark. Going on our third season here. If you didn't hear last night, Diamond Hoppers losing a player. Logan Gillespie getting picked up by the Milwaukee Brewers organization, the 22nd player chosen out of the United Shore Professional Baseball League by an affiliated club. And it's only a matter of time before we hear another name pop up and head on to bigger and better things. Meanwhile, Brian Pereira in his first at-bat, second pitch swinging, hits one into right. A runner going to third is Bridus. The throw over there, it gets past Christian Helsel, and it goes into the dugout of the Diamond Hoppers. So we will have Bridus, I believe, come in to score. That is correct. And Pereira getting all the way to third. I believe that will, in fact, be a single with a long throwing error, as Pereira won't get the RBI credit as Bridus does come in to score with that wild throw. But a tough start defensively for the Beavers here with that throwing error. So Pereira starts the day off hot with the single, gets all the way to third base on that toss. Not necessarily an awful throw there from Ryan Smith, but it ends up hopping past Christian Helsel and into that third base dugout. Now Sebastian Diaz standing in, who has been battling a little bit of elbow tightness, but I heard from Justin Orndorff, our director of baseball operations, earlier on before this game had begun that Diaz will be starting throwing routines this upcoming week starting tomorrow. So expect Diaz to be back out there at that second base position when he comes back. Not sure what we will be seeing between him and Gunnar Buhner, but both of these gentlemen swinging the bat well, and I would assume whoever's not at second between the two of them will be the DH. Diaz, meanwhile, on the 1-1 pitch, looks at one inside after going down in the count 0-1, works the count to 2-1. Over there at third is Mr. Pereira. Diamond Hoppers tying this game up with the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. An early start to this one for both teams as Diaz looks at the bender for called strike two. Nice pitch from Seiler to catch Diaz off guard. Diaz with 14 runs scored, good for fourth in the league, and also has 85 at-bats, your everyday second baseman for the Hoppers until he had that elbow issue. And on the fifth pitch of the at-bat, Seiler does his job, blazes one past Diaz on the outside part of the plate. Second strikeout of the afternoon for the San Diego State Aztec. I mentioned Seiler was drafted in the 15th round by the New York Yankees, and in 2015 played in the New York Penn League in short A ball, where he had 14 relief appearances, a 4.62 ERA, one save out of 3 save opportunities, 25 and a third innings pitched, 13 earned runs, had 7 walks, but 15 strikeouts, and a 1.46 whip. But continuing to battle here for these Beavers, Seiler has all season long. The right-hander in his time at San Diego State, as he came to us from Agora High School, the hometown of Agora Hills, California. Seiler, in the 2014 season with San Diego State, was the number 3 starter, but moved into the number 2 role after the first 5 weekends. Had 16 total appearances, only one of them in relief, but Seiler, a guy who can pitch at any time. We've seen him come out of the bullpen late in a game when his team needed him, but for the most part is a starter for this team. Lukongo, meanwhile, the batter, works the count 2-1. He went 1 for 4 in last night's contest, and you don't see this. Oh, excuse me. This ball almost went back fair down that first baseline. Gauthier was thinking about waiting because Lukongo was not exiting the batter's box, and he then realized that there was a possibility that it was going to roll back into fair territory, so he starts to jog, but it ends up staying foul. Lukongo in that contest on Thursday, 1 for 4 with the single and the strikeout. Cody Rudisilli due up on deck. We'll see if he can get a plate appearance here in this first inning, but Lukongo with that foul ball evens the count up to 2-2. Seiler trying to strike out the side, even though allowing the 2 singles from Breitis and Pereira. It would be a good inning to only allow the 1 run. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt, that slider blocked by the catcher Gauthier. Good job there, as Gauthier does not allow Pereira to come in to score. 2 outs on the board, 1-1 your score. Hoppers fighting back in this home half after the Beavers got their leadoff man Nicholas Campana to come in, and Lukongo doing a good job in this at-bat. Works the count full and works the 2-out walk to continue this inning, and that one misses on the outside part of the plate, brings runners to the corners still with 2 outs on the board, and now Cody Rudisilli standing in, went 1 for 4 on Thursday with a run scored on a triple that he had. Still waiting to see our first USPBL player to hit their second triple of the year. There are, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players in this league with 1 triple, but nobody so far yet to get their second on this season. Rudisilli, one of the guys that would be able to do that impressive feat because he has so much wheels. We've seen it time and time again in the outfield and on the base pass. Seiler starts him off with a fastball for a called strike, and then a slider in the dirt from Seiler. Rudisilli doesn't bite on it, evens the count up at 1-1. No speed over there at first from Lukongo. Over at third, Pereira, not a ton of speed either, but all the Hoppers need is a base knock, and Pereira will come in to score with ease. The fastball, the changeup at 82 miles an hour gets the part of that outside corner and paints the black for called strike 2. Sal Giacomontonio making the call there. And quickly, Rudisilli down in the 2, but Seiler want to get the job done here and not allow him to fight back in this count. The 1-2 pitch, fastball at 90 miles an hour, fouled off 80 degrees. So the heat index clearly playing a factor, and we mentioned how the USPBL with that 2.5 rule each game will not start an inning after the 2.5-hour mark where we start the game at 1:05. So we will not be starting an inning after the 3:30 mark. And we were 3 for 3 to start the year through the weekend. And that 1-2 pitch looked good from up here, but seemed to have just missed somewhere. Not sure where exactly in terms of Giacomontonio's eyesight, but the count even at 2-2. Rudisilli works the count a little bit longer. Seiler trying to get out of this inning. The pitch count climbing here for the right-hander. Seiler with 28 pitches in the first, pitch 29, fouled off, and Rudisilli continuing to force Seiler to work. 17 of his pitches for strikes, 12 for balls, as he is approaching pitch number 30 coming up here, and of course that's too many for his likings. We saw Cameron McKenzie in that bullpen role yesterday do his job in 4 innings, and there are a lot of bullpen arms that will be able to help Seiler out in this game, but of course with his parents in attendance, you want to see him go as long as he possibly can, try and go the 5 innings and get the job done, be in line for the win. The 2-2 pitch, a slider in the dirt, so Rudisilli works the count full. working over a little bit of technical difficulties here as we fix the scoreboard at the ballpark. A little twitch, or glitch, I should say, in the scoreboard, but we're working on it as we can as we continue on in this home half of the first inning. Seiler gets his strikeout. Gauthier doesn't make the tag, throws it to first to Haranek to get the third and final out, but a run apiece for each of these teams. We're through an inning of play at Jimmy John's Field. We head to the top half of the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. Seth Freed, James Batley, and Ryan Smith, your batters to start off this top of the second inning. Freed 1 for 4 in last night's contest against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Freed had a single, a stolen base, a walk, and a run scored, but did strike out twice in the process. But Doherty back out for his second inning of work. 17 pitches in the first frame, 11 of them for strikes. Did have a strikeout, but did allow a walk. If you're just joining us, Nicholas Campana started the day off with a 4-pitch walk and came in to score on an RBI double from Jack Haranek. Thomas Rulis also had a single in the frame. Count moving quickly to 2-2 after Freed fouls one off and then looks at called strike 2. Seth Freed coming to us from Ball State University in the Mid-American Conference, also a hometown product, traveling to us from Bay City, Michigan, up north. This ball hit Northway over there out to right field. It goes, Jack Kraft cannot make the play. It goes past the outstretched glove and actually one hops over that right field fence, and a leadoff double for Freed starts off the Beavers in this top half of the second inning. So a good start for the Beavers. The offense continuing here this weekend. Mentioned yesterday, they had 14 hits, 13 of them for singles. But as we sit in this second inning, already 2 doubles on the day, 1 from Haranek and now 1 from Freed. James Batley, who went 2 for 3 last night with 2 singles, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Tied for third in the league with 15 runs scored. Beavers winners over the Mammoths last night by a final of 10-2. Beavers and Hoppers trying to fight along here in this one. Batley looks at a couple of pitches, 1 for a ball and 1 for a strike. Count 1-1 on the batter. Lefty-righty matchup. Doherty, the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Batley sitting on it. It heads into right center field. Out there is Rudisilli. Rounding third, thinking about home, was number 5, Freed, but Chris Newell, the manager, holding him up, and probably the better decision would have been a close play at the plate. And instead, with holding Freed at third, you have 2 runners on with nobody out. Your number 9 hole hitter, sort of that double leadoff role, Ryan Smith, coming up to the plate. Was 2 for 4 last night with a couple of singles. One of 5 Beavers last night to have a 2-hit performance. The only double coming off the bat of Jack Haranek in last night's contest. Back-to-back hits here to start this top of the second inning for the Beavers, as Batley is over there at first base, and he does have plenty of speed. Thinking about home was Freed. Batley getting to second base easily on that wild pitch from Doherty. Batley, one of the fastest guys in the league, but didn't really have to use it there. I believe I would have made it to second base on that one. So runners moving on the wild pitch. The 1-0 pitch to Smith, getting enough of that outside corner. Smith, a .278 batting average coming into play today. One of 4 Beavers to start every single game on the season for Chris Newell's team. The 1-1 pitch, missing high with the fastball is Doherty. And so far, the command between these two pitchers, you know, it's not where they'd like it to be. They're throwing more pitches than they would like. And the Beavers' offense is clearly seeing the ball a lot better this weekend compared to the last few, as this breaking ball misses inside. Lukongo gets enough of it, keeps it in front of him, and Freed nor Batley are moving. So there is the open base at first with the 3-1 count to Smith, but then we would go back to the top of the Birmingham order, and that is no easy slate either. Really, this entire lineup, 1 through 9, has shown their ability to put the ball in the field of play at times. And Smith on the 3-1 pitch won't have to swing the bat. That one loads the bases as he earns his first walk of the afternoon. And Campana now standing in. Speaking of walks, that 4-pitch walk that led this game off. Campana coming up to the plate for the second time this afternoon. Campana went a perfect 3 for 3 in his debut. This one hit high out into right field. Underneath it is Kraft. We might not have a play at the plate. He's going to end up trying to throw that ball in, but too far deep that baseball went. Nice job from Campana to drive in the runner free. The sacrifice fly out is recorded as the first out is made here for these Hoppers, and the Beavers take the 2-1 lead, still with just the 1 out, and Thomas Rulis standing in. Batley gets to third. Smith does not move up to second. He had to stay at first as that ball got thrown into Gunnar Buhner, the second baseman. Doherty continuing to work here. Mentioned how he had 17 pitches in the first frame and working on pitch number 32 as we speak. Fastball looked good from up here, but it must have missed just outside to Rulis, who has one of the better eyes in this league. Rulis had the 2 strikes thrown to him in the first plate appearance, but ended up singling. A hard ground ball hit into right field, and then he was thrown out at second via the 3-6 putout when Pereira and Watley tried to turn a double play on Paller. Rulis on the 1-0 pitch. Looks at a called strike, evens his count up at 1-1. Beavers 6-4 in their last 10. They're 1 game back in that West Division as Doherty tries to throw the backdoor breaking ball to Rulis, but not enough bite on that pitch, and because of it, Rulis works the favorable 2-1 count. And I mentioned how Doherty has the fastball, the curveball, the changeup, and then he's been working on a slider. I would expect to see a fastball here and a fastball count. The 2-1, there is that fastball. Rulis, did he go around? I don't believe he did. And just a little reassurance there. Nate Thompson, our field umpire, make Smith on first. He's not going anywhere. That one getting away from Doherty, and you can tell the heat is getting to him, sweating a little bit, and the grip not there for the right-hander, and the issues continue here with walk number 3. So the bases are loaded. Smith moves up 90 feet closer to scoring. Batley remains where he's at. But between Paller, Helsel, and Haranek, you got nowhere to put any of these 3 guys. Still just the one out on the board. Paller, a guy who hits the ball in the air a lot. Not your prototypical ground ball hitter, and you want to stray away from leaving something over the heart of the plate because he can take full advantage of it. That ball missing low, the 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and no action just yet in that left field bullpen. Still early in this game, but you can tell Doherty starting to lose it a little bit. The deep breath, the 1-0 pitch, that one missing high and away, so quickly the count 2-0 on Paller. If you're just joining us, the Beavers with 1 run in the first on a walk from Campana, single from Rulis, and an RBI double from Haranek. Then the Hoppers got a run of their own in the home half of the first on singles from Bridus, Pereira, and then a walk from Lacongo. But back here in this top of the second inning as Paller looks at another ball, brings the count to 3-0. Freed with the leadoff double. He came in to score on that RBI sac fly from Campana. Batley with the single. He's on third. Smith over there at second with that no-out walk. As Paller looks at 4 straight, the second 4-pitch walk that we've seen, and I'd be shocked if we didn't see Forrest Kumis make his way out to the pitcher's mound, and right on cue, here he comes to try and calm down his right-hander. It's never easy when you walk in a run. It's one of the more demoralizing feelings as a pitcher. You know, if you're having a day where you're throwing a lot of strikes and the offense is getting to you, you're doing everything you can to try and take out the competition, but when you're not allowing them to even take the bat off of their shoulder and you're moving guys without throwing strikes, it can really get to you mentally, and it's very tough to fight back from. The game of baseball, you know, as they say, 90% mental, and it's showing here as the heat's getting to the right-hander Doherty as Christian Helsel stands in for the second time. He was the second victim back in the first inning when he struck out looking against Mr. Doherty. So a positive note if he can get Helsel for a second consecutive time, but I don't think so. This ball hit on a rope out to right field. At the wall is Kraft, and he makes the catch on the route. Moving up to score is Smith. To third is Rulis, and another sacrifice fly out to right field for these Beavers in this top half of the second inning, but that one was a lot tougher of a play for Kraft. He runs that one down and makes the catch, but everybody moving up 90 feet, and the Beavers scoring their 4th run of the game, and in fact, not everybody moving up 90 feet. Staying at first is Paller as Kraft threw that ball in. Rulis in to score. Or excuse me, Rulis at third now. It was Smith that had came in to score. My apologies. But maybe coming in to score now is Rulis, as this ball is going to drop past the diving left fielder, Trey Bridus. Rulis does, in fact, now come in to score. Thinking about coming is Paller. The cutoff from the third baseman, and it's not going to be able to make the play. The ball gets out of the glove of the catcher, Lacongo. And even though the home plate umpire, Sal Giacomontonio, had initially ruled him out, the throw had beat the runner, of course, but it looked as if Paller had broken it up as he slid into the bag. So everything working here for the Beavers, as that one was a very close play out in left, as Bridus was that close to making a diving catch and ending the threat, but the inning will continue as Helsel does his job to drive in the runs. And I said Helsel, meant Haranek there, of course. Haranek getting the job done, driving in the runs, as Gauthier now stands in, the 9th batter of the frame. Gauthier 0 for 1 on the day. That one fouled off and out of play it goes. Brings the count to 1-1. There is, in fact, an arm getting loose out in that left field bullpen for the Hoppers. Looks to be the right-hander, number 40, Tyler Tamaka. As the 1-1 pitch to Gauthier misses the zone high, and a tough outing for both of these starters to begin the day. Doherty already facing off against, count it, 14 batters as we sit here in the second inning with 2 outs. Gauthier on the 2-1 pitch, looked to be that slider, holds off on it, checks the swing, and stays alive as this count goes to 3-1. Gauthier looking for ball 4, but he will not get it. Big cut there on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Brings the count full, and Doherty trying desperately to get out of this jam as he's facing off against the 9th hitter in this inning. Haranek with that single that he got to second base on the error from Breitis. The 3-2 pitch misses high and in, so the 10th batter of the frame will come up to the plate in Seth Freed, who led this frame off with the leadoff double. So in comes Seth Freed for his second at-bat of the frame. Freed in his first plate appearance leading this inning off with the double. Came in to score on that sacrifice flyout from Campana. Doherty fighting back in this count. That one misses the zone, though. Quickly 2-0 on the batter, Freed. Just a tough, hot day out there for these ball players. And Freed looks at another one. That one misses the zone, and that one was probably closer to the strike zone than the last couple of pitches. But when you're not hitting your spots, you're not going to be getting the calls. And it's just a correlation effect that continues to trend into a downward spiral for the Hopper starter. And there goes another walk. That is, count it, walk number 6 on the day, and not only that, but the fifth walk of the inning, and only a matter of time before Doherty's day is done. You know, from bad to worse things go for the right-hander, and not only that, but the 2 outs that he's recorded here in this inning were both sacrifice flies that drove in runs. So even when the Beavers are getting outs, they're making them pay offensively, and both of those sacrifice flyouts actually almost leaving the park as they were caught right near the warning track as well. And, oh, my goodness, things just continuing to hurt here for the right-hander Doherty. He balks in a run, so not only does he have the 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 walks in the inning, but a balk as well, drives in another run. And it looks as if Paul Noce is going to be coming out to take his pitcher out. He had a conversation with the base umpire, but maybe he didn't know that Kumis had already went out there because, of course, when you make your second mound visit, you have to take out your arm. And it looks as if he's having Tamaka come into the bullpen, or excuse me, out of the bullpen and into the dugout. And if Batley reaches safely here, you got to imagine this, no matter what, is the last batter that Doherty will face on the afternoon. 1-0 pitch to Batley, breaking ball, misses the zone inside, and I mean, there's only so many things that you can say when you're not hitting your strike zone and you're having so many walks. The Beavers with 14 hits yesterday, but not really needing to swing the bat here against Doherty to start. Batley does, in fact, go after that pitch. Buhner fields it and makes the play, and we are out of the top of the second inning, but the Beavers with 6 more runs scored as we head to the home half. Hoppers will need to string a lot together against Seiler. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. We head to the home half of the second inning, and Mark Seiler with a 6-run lead he's working with. 54 pitches through the first 2 frames for Doherty. Seiler, meanwhile, as he heads out for his second inning of work, for him, he's already, if we take a look at his pitch count, the count for Kraft at 1-1 already, but count him 32 pitches for Seiler in the first frame, and he'll have to make quick of these second, third, and fourth and fifth innings if he wants to be in line for the win today. Of course, he'll have to go the 5 innings to be in line for the win. Seiler coming into today's action with a 3-2 record in 8 starts and 1 relief appearance. Jack Kraft, the batter, the only Hopper that did not start in the game on Thursday against the Unis. Count 3-1 on Kraft, and the walks continue here at Jimmy John's Field on this Sunday. Kraft working the leadoff walk, and leadoff walks are never fun. You don't want to let those happen because most of the time they eventually come in to score, and Kraft does have some speed over there at the first base bag. Gunnar Buhner at the plate has a little bit of pop to him. Doesn't have any home runs yet this year, but 13 hits coming into today's action. Went 2 for 3 on Thursday with 2 singles, a sacrifice flyout that, of course, drove in a run. Buhner swinging early on this one. Gets out in front of it, fouls it off, and count 0-1 on the batter. Buhner, 13 for 63 on the year, 5 RBIs to his credit. Buhner had actually missed some time with these Diamond Hoppers, did not play from June the 12th all the way up until July the 5th, where he had missed some time as he rolled an ankle in practice. This ball rolling over to the left side, getting past the outstretched glove of Thomas Rulis, and that one will go down in the books as a base knock. A leadoff walk for Kraft leads to a no-out single for Buhner, and the base runners galore here this afternoon between the two teams, as the pitchers both struggling early on. Seiler with the leadoff walk to Kraft, and then he does get weak contact off the bat of Buhner, but he just placed it in the perfect spot. Rulis, a great defender, had a really nice catch yesterday, acrobatic-like, turning into a wide receiver in that left center field area. But he could not make the catch on the stop as that ball rolled into left field. Kevin Whatley, meanwhile, down in the count, he goes 0-1 to start this at-bat. Whatley went over 3 on Thursday, had a walk and a strikeout. Tamaka continuing to get loose out there in the bullpen for the Hoppers. Got to imagine that he will be coming in to pitch once this second inning is concluded. But Whatley looks at one outside, brings the count to 1-1. Seiler trying to fight his way through this heat and through this Eastside lineup. The 1-1 pitch, two-seamer inside, 88-mile-an-hour fastball, swung on and missed from Whatley. Whatley, the only diamond hopper to play in every single game for these Hoppers in all 24 of their games. Mention how close these standings are in the USPBL. It literally could not be any closer as Whatley breaks his bat, pops one up. It looks like it'll be trouble for Haranek, and that one getting just past him as he was running down that first base line and into right field, right into that Bermuda Triangle area where neither Haranek nor Freed nor Smith could get to it. So staying alive, at least for now, is Whatley, but he does have to go get a new piece of lumber as the bat boy makes his way out to hand it off to him. The question is, did the bat boy put pine tar on the bat for him as well? That would be quite some extra work down there. Whatley trying to protect as the count remains 1-2 on him. Seiler trying to get his 4th strikeout of the day, and in fact he'll get it. Painting the outside black. Whatley can't agree with it, but that one, nice job there from Seiler to get the strikeout, and it's the only way that he's been able to retire these Diamond Hoppers today. Bridus, the leadoff batter, who comes back up to the plate for the second time today, 1 for 1 with a single. Davis with the strikeout. Pereira with the single. Sebastian Diaz with the strikeout. Lacongo with a walk. Rudisili with a strikeout. Kraft with a walk. Buhner with a single. And Whatley with a strikeout. Your first time through this order. Second time through we go. Bridus, the only run scored for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the contest so far today, but trying to drive in the second, maybe third, maybe even 4th runs of the game. If he can put some wood on this baseball. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Is the man from Woodbridge, Virginia. Slider in there, called strike. That's the go-to pitch for Seiler. He has a fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and a sinker, but that slider is his bread and butter that he likes to go with more than any other pitch. Runner at second is Kraft. The runner at first is Buhner. Lots of speed on the base pass. The Beavers try to maintain this 6-run lead. Pitch missing the zone away at 81 miles an hour. Bridus working the count in his favor. Unicorns sitting in second place at 13-13. Diamond Hoppers sitting in third with a 12-12 record. The Mammoths with a 13-12 record. This ball hit a mile high out to left field. You can forget about it. On top of the Chevrolet Pavilion. Second home run of the season for Trey Bridus. His first came back on July the 4th, his birthday. But this one, a 3-run homer, bringing in Kraft, Buhner, and himself. All of a sudden, the Hoppers are back in this game. But what a showing of muscle for Bridus. That one was an absolute no-doubter. And he drives in 3 with just 1 swing of the bat. Tough seeing there for Seiler after he had gotten the strikeout to Whatley with the parents in attendance. And you got a feel for the right-hander who had 32 pitches through the first frame. And not slowing down is this offense here today. 11 combined runs already, and we're not even through the second inning. But what a showing of strength there from Bridus. 2 for 2 on the day with the single and the home run. 2 for 2, or he's halfway to a cycle as he'll need a double and a triple. Davis, meanwhile, looking at a couple of pitches, neither of them for strikes. Works the count 2-0 in his favor. Now the 2-0 pitch, missing on the, or excuse me, getting enough of that inside corner. That one missing the zone as well. Davis quickly working this count. Davis coming to us from Florida A&M with the Rattlers, and in his junior season in 2017, played in 50 games, hit just under 300. This one might get over the fence, but instead it one-hops its way over. That's the second ground rule double that we have seen here this afternoon. The first one coming off the bat of Jack Haranek, but Davis just continuing to swing the bat here for these Hoppers, and offense is evident here this afternoon. Tough day for the pitchers. And now Brian Pereira standing in 1-for-1 on the day with a single. Tamaka continuing to get loose out there in the bullpen, but you got to imagine by now he is ready to go. Now we start to see some stirring in that right field bullpen out there to start warming up number 4, Matt Dallas. Brian Pereira, your beer batter of the game, got a hit in the first inning. Fans allowed to get $5 craft beers, and look at that, more $5 craft beers coming your way. Rounding third, headed to home is Davis. It's cut off by Helsel, and coming in to score is the third baseman. Another run coming in here for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and it's now 7-5 as it's all of a sudden just a 2-run game, and Pereira getting to first with his second consecutive single. Driving in Davis does he. One Brian drives in another, and the hits, the moral of the story here today, they were the moral of the story yesterday for the Beavers, where they had 14 hits, 13 for singles. But as we take a look, the Beavers with now 5 hits on the day. One of them a home run, one of them a double. But other than that, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4 singles. So now 6 hits on the board for the Beavers. As this one to Sebastian Diaz. The first pitch missed the zone. The second one in the zone for called strike 1. As this one just missing on the outside part of the plate. Beavers now with 6 hits. Same as the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in this one. Sebastian Diaz 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out looking for out number 2 back in the first inning, and on the 2-1 pitch, fouls it off into the protective netting over to our right. This ball fought off, and it's going to fall down that right field line. That's just the way that the cookie's been crumbling here this afternoon. Diaz thinking about second. Back to first he goes, and it looks like the tag was applied from Haranek, but first base umpire says that he did, in fact, get in there safely. So everybody remains safe on the base pass. Pereira moves from first to third. Sebastian Diaz gets to first safely, even though he's almost tagged going back to the bag, and Seiler continues to struggle here in this one as Thomas Lukongo stands in, and the Hoppers trying to match the Beavers. The Beavers had 12 men come up to the plate in the top half of the frame. Hoppers with their 8th batter aboard now, with Lukongo standing in. As this one getting away from the catcher. Diaz at first. Over at third is Pereira. Seiler continuing to fight on the mound, but this ball over to the left side. The 6th, the bare hand squeeze at second from Seth Freed, and he rifles it to Haranek at first. That's your Trico double play. We get out of the inning, but not before the Hoppers can put up a 4 spot in the home half. We head to the third. Beavers out in front 7-5. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland here with you. If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a lot. We're an hour through this one, just 2 innings completed. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers with 7 runs on just 5 hits. The Hoppers with the exact opposite, 5 runs on 7 hits. The day is done for Joseph Doherty. He only goes the 2 innings, allows the 7 earned runs on 5 hits, but the kicker, 6 walks relinquished, and 5 of them coming in that second inning. So 12 batters for the Beavers batted in that top half of the frame, and we'll see how many they can put up here in this top half of the third. A new arm out on the mound for the Diamond Hoppers. It's the man out of Loris College, number 40, Tyler Tamaka. Tamaka starting off Ryan Smith with a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch missing the zone low and in, as Tamaka making his 7th relief appearance on the season. 9 2/3 innings pitched with a 1-1 record. He's allowed 14 hits in those nearly 10 innings pitched. 9 strikeouts with a 7.45 ERA. This ball flown out to right field. Ryan Smith is retired for the first time today. 1 up and 1 down to start this third inning. And Tamaka doing his best to limit this damage. And you never know with how this game has been played. We saw the Beavers up 7-1 after that top half of the second inning. But the Hoppers fighting back, getting 4 runs of their own, as Tamaka will do his best to retire these Beavers hitters, and maybe the offense for the Hoppers can come back and earn him a victory here in today's game, as Campana stands in for the 3rd time, looks at a ball that misses high and in. On the day so far, Campana 0 for 0, walked and scored in the first, and then hit a sacrifice fly out to Jack Kraft that drove in a run in the previous second inning. The 1-0 pitch to Campana, a slider from Tamaka that misses the zone outside. Tamaka, like I mentioned, coming to us from Loris College, where in 2018 appeared in 17 games, posted a 1.35 ERA over 26 2/3 innings pitched, as he misses the zone for a 3rd consecutive time against Campana. He finished the season with a 1-1 record with 7 saves, recorded 33 strikeouts. Opponents batted just 141 against him, but no swinging here for Campana. That is the second time that Campana has worked a 4-pitch walk. He is seeing the ball very well today up at the plate. Mentioned how he went 1 for 5 last night, but already, as we're just in the 3rd inning, he has reached base safely for the 3rd time. Thomas Rulis now standing in, another guy who has yet to have been retired. 1 for 1 on the day with a single, a walk, and a run scored. Tamaka at Loras College actually set the single-season save record with those 7 saves. Rulis in there for the 3rd time in as many innings. At Dartmouth, 4 years, a .298 average, 136 hits, 57 runs scored, 23 doubles, 9 triples, just the 2 home runs in the 4 years. That goes to show you how productive of a hitter he is. He does not hit for power, but, man, can he put the ball in play. .984 fielding percentage as well for Rulis. This ball hit on a line over there to the shortstop, Kevin Watley. Nice piece of hitting there from Rulis. Just unfortunate for him. It was hit right to the mitt of Mr. Kevin Watley, and the second out is recorded here in this top of the 3rd inning. Paller coming up to the plate, another guy who has reached base safely twice as he reached on a walk and came in to score in the 2nd inning and reached on a fielder's choice, but was stranded at 3rd back in that 1st inning. So Paller trying to reach base safely for the 3rd time today. Was 2 for 3 with 2 singles in last night's contest. He had 2 of the 13 singles for the Beavers yesterday. Paller, big cut on the first pitch. Can't make contact on it. Home plate umpire Sal Giacomontonio having a conversation with Thomas Lacongo. Not sure what it was on. Didn't look like Paller fouled it off at all. Lacongo seems to be fine as Tamaka continuing to work here. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. Paller quickly down in the count, 0-2. Beavers with 1 run in the first. Hoppers with a run in the first, but 10 combined runs between these 2 teams in the 2nd inning. As we are 10 minutes past the 2 o'clock hour, only in this top of the 3rd inning. Paller on the 0-2. Misses the zone. Staying alive in the count. That one not missing by much. A good eye from Paller to lay off. Runner at first is Campana. Does have a little bit of speed. The 1-2 pitch, trying to get that backdoor breaking ball. Can't get the bite on it. And Paller works the count even at 2-2. Paller, 2nd in the league with 4 home runs coming into play today. 2nd in the league with 16 runs scored. One of just 3 batters in this lineup to participate in every game for the Beavers. The 90-mile-an-hour fastball is hit high out there. Initially, Brian Davis was calling it, but Kevin Watley had a better eye on it, calls off his 3rd baseman, and catches it for the 3rd and final out. We're halfway through the 3rd. 7-5 your score. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the third we go. Cody Rudisilli, Jack Kraft, and Gunnar Buhner due up to start this contest. Rudisilli, second pitch swinging, hard hit ball over to the hot corner, but picking it up. Nice pick with the glove, Mr. Christian Helsel. Rudisilli is retired on 2 pitches and is over 2 on the day with a strikeout and that 5-3 putout. Now Jack Kraft coming up to the plate. So a new arm on the mound for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. The day is done for Mark Seiler. Seiler going just the 2 innings, allowing the 4 earned runs on 7 hits, 5 total runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. But he now gives way to Matt Dallas, who gets some help from his first baseman, Mr. Jack Haranek. One Jack hitting it to another. Kraft retired on the line out to Mr. Haranek. 2 up and 2 down. Good start for Dallas out on the bump. Retiring Rudisilli and Kraft, not an easy feat by any stretch. Seiler giving way to Dallas. Dallas coming to us from Boise, Idaho, and the University of Minnesota Crookston. On the season, the right-hander, as he starts off Gunnar Buhner with a swing and miss strike. Dallas coming off of his first decision of the season 5 short days ago, where he got the loss in that 1-inning relief role. He started 2 games on the year, but 10 of his outings are from the bullpen. 19 innings pitched with that 0-1 record. 3 saves for the right-hander. He's allowed 15 hits, 17 walks, but he's matched the walks with 17 strikeouts, as he has a 3.79 ERA coming into play today. The count 1-1 on Buhner, and it's been all offense throughout the first 2 innings. We had our first frame without a run scored in the top of the 3rd inning, and it looks like we'll have a match here in this home half of the 3rd. We get a 1-2-3 frame. Down go the 6, 7, 8 hitters on a ground out, a line out, and a fly out. We head to the 4th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the 4th frame we go. 7-5 your score. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers out in front of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Short days for both starters, Joseph Doherty and Mark Seiler. Both of them going 2 innings. This ball hit hard. A couple of hops over to the 3rd baseman, Brian Davis. Initially, he stops it, doesn't get the field clean there, but he ends up keeping it in front of him and rifling that ball over to the first base bag to Brian Pereira. A good job there from Davis to knock down that hard hit ball to retire Helsel. 1 up and 1 down to start this top of the 4th inning. The defense stepping up a little bit here in these last couple of half innings. But speaking of that first baseman who made that nice stop on the line out hit by Jack Kraft, Jack Haranek standing in, 2 for 2 on the day, has a double and a single to his credit. Wouldn't be surprised to see Haranek hit a home run, but he would need a lot of help to get a triple. RBI double in the first, a single and a run scored in the second. Nobody on the base pass, 1 man out, and look at that. Haranek, as he caught the ball on a line in the top or in the home half of the third, in his third at bat of the afternoon, lines out to that first base area. Brian Pereira making the catch for out number 2. Quickly, 2 up and 2 down here in this top of the 4th inning. So a perfect home half of the third for the reliever Matt Dallas. Now Tamaka out there for his 2nd inning of work. Almost had a 1-2-3 third inning, but had a 1-out walk to Nicholas Campana. Adam Gauthier standing in on the day, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. It's this one. Misses the zone away. Gauthier with just the 1 walk, in this contest. Two-0 pitch to Gauthier. Big cut, big miss. 2-1 count to the man out of Naples, Florida. I'm sure he's used to the heat that we're experiencing here out at the ballpark this afternoon. Tamaka, the 2-1 pitch. Fastball missing inside at 87 miles an hour. Brings the count to 3-1. Tamaka with a 1-1 record coming into play today. This 3-1 pitch misses high and inside. Second walk relinquished by the right-hander, and the 2-out walk is recorded. Seth Freed, who had the leadoff double and then walk in the 2nd inning, where he had 2 at-bats in the frame, and now already his 3rd at-bat in this 4th inning. Freed coming to us from Ball State in the Mid-American Conference, went 1 for 4 yesterday against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. The 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outside part of the plate. 2 outs on the board. The runner at first is Gauthier. He's reached for the 2nd consecutive time on the base on balls. And I mentioned how at the USPBL in our 10th weekend, as the backdoor breaking ball gets enough of the zone on the outside part of the plate, brings the count to 1-2 on Freed. With this 2.5-hour time limit, you try your best to move quickly throughout the innings, but with the 12 combined runs through the first 2 innings, it will be tough to get all 9 innings in here today, but we'll take 3 out of 4 to start the weekend. Mentioned how it just began here in this 10th weekend at Jimmy John's Field. We had experienced a couple of long games in the last couple of weekends, and our commissioner, Mr. Andy Appleby, our chief operating officer, Ms. Dana Schmidt, and our director of baseball operations, Mr. Justin Orenduff, coming together and making the decision that we will be able to get most of our games completed with 9 innings in this 2.5-hour time limit. There's just certain games that the pitching isn't necessarily there, and clearly a day that we're having here this afternoon. The payoff pitch to Freed, it's popped up into shallow right center field. Calling off his right fielder is Cody Rudisili, and Freed is retired for the first time today. The 2-out walk goes unscathed, and we head to the home half of the 4th inning, still a 7-5 score. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. To the home half of the fourth inning we go. Kevin Whatley, the number 9 hitter, and then Trey Bridus and Brian Davis, the 1-2 hitters, due up for these Hoppers in this home half of the fourth. Whatley on the day 0 for 1 with that looking strikeout. That was the first out recorded in that long second inning that we had experienced that lasted about 45 minutes. Whatley, even in this count at 1-1 against Dallas, who's back out there for his second inning of work. Dallas relieving Seiler, who in that start went just the 2 innings, allowed the 4 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts on the 2-1 pitch to Whatley. This one hit far, but out in front of it was the batter, and that one turning into a souvenir for a lucky fan as Dallas takes the exhale and heads back out to the rubber to continue working, trying to get Whatley with the second strikeout of the day. Wind starting to blow towards that left field area where Trey Bridus had taken a ball for quite a ride back in that long second frame. The 2-2 pitch to Whatley, up and in. He bends out of the way of that one as if he was on the dance floor and stays alive in this count. Payoff pitch will ensue. This ball hit. It's popped up. Looks like it's going to be enough to get out of play, but walks are the story here in this contest. Seiler allowed 2 walks. The starter Doherty for the Hoppers allowed 6 walks, and Tamaka has 2 of his own, but none thus far for Dallas. This would be the first if he allowed Whatley to reach, and will not allow him to reach. That one outside corner, called strike 3. Second consecutive at-bat where Whatley gets rung up on strikes, and out there picking up the loose bat, Mr. JJ, the field general, picking up that one. And now Trey Bridus standing in. Trey Bridus having quite the day so far, already a single and a home run. And, you know, with those 2 hits, I was wondering in terms of how fast somebody got to a cycle in Major League Baseball history, and found out some research as first pitch curveball misses the zone away. The quickest cycle ever hit was actually by a guy named Mike Lansing back on June 18th of the year 2000, where he had a cycle in 4 innings. It's unbelievable. He had a triple in the first, a home run in the second, a double in the third. This ball hit, and it's going to drop into shallow left center field. Bright is thinking about second out of the box, but he will retreat back towards first, and back to back hits for the leadoff hitter. 2 singles and a home run. He gets onto first base with ease, and he cannot be stopped here this afternoon. Bright is continuing to work after going 0 for 4 back on Thursday against the Unicorns. Davis standing in, 1 for 2 on the day with a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. Big cut there from the third baseman. Can't make contact on it, though, and he quickly goes down in the count 0-2. Mentioned how Dallas coming to us from the University of Minnesota Crookston, the Golden Eagles, where in 2016 as a junior, as Dallas forces Davis to chase after the 0-1 fastball. In his junior season at Minnesota Crookston, Dallas appeared in 8 games out of the bullpen, notched 6 2/3 innings pitched. Didn't have a record, but a 14.85 ERA with 4 strikeouts in the season. Not a lot to look at in that 2016 season. But so far on the year with the Beavers, very well with that 3.79 ERA in 19 innings pitched. The count 0-2 on Brian Davis. The breaking ball missing the head of Davis as he ducks out of the way of that one. Davis coming to us from the University of Florida A&M. And I mentioned today as a part of Sunday Fun Day, first 500 fans getting free Dippin' Dots as Davis flies out to left field on the 4th pitch of the at-bat, and I was just brought up some Dippin' Dots here in the booth, so I'm going to let you know how they taste as I take a quick bite. Gotta love chocolate, people. Chocolate is a beautiful, beautiful part of life. So as the Dippin' Dots are gulfed down, baseball does continue. 2 outs on the board. Brian Pereira, the batter. First pitch swinging. 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles. Drove in a run in that long second inning for the Hoppers. Hoppers trailing it by a score of 7-5. Pereira in the debut on Thursday went 2 for 4 with 2 singles. He's already matched that here today through the first 2 at-bats. This one hit on a line out there to right field. Another good piece of swinging there from the first baseman, but this one falls right into the glove of Ryan Smith out there in right. And we're through 4 innings here at Jimmy John's Field on this Sunday Fun Day. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 5th inning we go. Rich Borland with you on the broadcast. It'll be James Batley, Ryan Smith, and Nicholas Campana, the 8-9 one-hitters, due up to start this 5th inning for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Batley on the day, 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Also grounded out to the second baseman, Mr. Gunnar Buhner, back in that long second inning where the Beavers put up 11 batters in the frame. Batley singled and grounded out to second base, all in that second inning. Third plate appearance here in this 5th. 0-2 pitch from Tamaka. Change up at 80 miles an hour. Misses the zone away. Good eye from Batley, who's an aggressive swinger, to hold back on that 0-2 pitch. Not an easy thing to do. Infield, outfield at normal depth. It's a gorgeous day for baseball. This pitch missing the zone just a bit low at 88 miles an hour. Batley saw it all the way through and keeps a good eye on it. And not sure if the home plate umpire had gotten asked by the home plate, or excuse me, by the catcher Lukongo to wipe off that plate or not, or if he'd been arguing balls and strikes and the umpire might have just went out there to clean the plate and have a conversation with Lukongo. Not sure which one it was. Batley, meanwhile, on the 2-2 pitch, fouls one off over to that first base dugout where the Beavers lay, over near that Beaver Dam. And Batley continuing to fight here, forcing Tamaka to throw these pitches. Tamaka with 17 strikes and 18 balls, something he's going to want to turn around a little bit. And look at that, turning around and heading back to the dugout is Batley. Called strike 3, good enough for out number 1 in this top of the 5th. Good start for the right-hander out of Loras College to retire Batley. Now Ryan Smith standing in. Smith 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out to right field where Jack Kraft made a catch at the track. But he reached on a base on balls in that long second inning and came in to score. Smith on the first pitch looks at a ball that misses the zone away. Ryan Smith coming to us from Brentwood, California. The 1-0 pitch, fastball outside corner, called strike 1, evens this count up at 1-1. Smith, like we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, went 2 for 4 last night with 2 singles and a run scored against the Mammoths last night. Beavers with 14 hits in that game, trying to match it here this afternoon. Already 7 runs, but they've got a lot of walks up there on the board. The starter, Mr. Joseph Doherty, for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, allowed 6 walks, and then Tamaka has already allowed 2 in this game. Smith not walking in this at-bat. He hits a high fly ball out there to Kraft once again, and for the second consecutive time, Jack Kraft retires Ryan Smith, one right fielder, hitting it to another, and quickly 2 up and 2 down to start off this top of the 5th inning. Campana coming to us from Hartford University, or the University of Hartford, I should say, where in the 2018 season, the East Chester, New York native played in 48 games, batted .307 with 62 hits and 23 RBIs, smacked 4 home runs, and finished second on the team with 42 of them. Recorded 18 multi-hit games, led the team with 11 stolen bases. A guy who can do just about everything that you can ask for. As he looks at 2 straight to start this at-bat off, both of them missed the strike zone. So the count 2-0 on the leadoff batter. Tamaka, the front door slider, looked good from up here, but might have just missed a little bit inside. There was good late breaking movement on that pitch, but must have been too late for Sal Giacomontonio's liking. So the count goes to 3-0 on Campana. 3-0 count, fastball thrown right down the middle, and strike 1 is called, so not out of the woods just yet is Campana. Right-hander rears back, brings that fastball. This one fought off down the right field line. Looks like it will get out of play, and that one ricocheting off of an umbrella where our group patio area is. Great area to bring out some of your clients at work or some staff at your company, or even if you just want to get a big group of friends or family out to the ballpark. A lot of really good group rates here at Jimmy John's Field. You can get an all-you-can-eat buffet, as this one's lined out to right field. Kraft looked like he's got a beat on it, makes the catch for the third and final out. Kraft busy out there, retiring both Smith and Campana for second and third outs. A 1-2-3 inning. To end the top of the 5th inning, we head to the home half. Hoppers looking to fight back in this one. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. To the home half of the 5th inning we go. Sebastian Diaz leading the way for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers on the day. 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Diaz battling a little bit of arm tightness in that elbow. Will resume throwing practice starting tomorrow. As this one fouled off. Quickly the count 1-2 on Diaz. Past the halfway point here at Jimmy John's Field as we are on to our second half of our season. Mentioned how our 22nd player of the USPBL getting picked up by a Major League affiliate in the Eastside Diamond Hoppers pitcher Logan Gillespie. Gillespie had pitched very well this year with the Diamond Hoppers, and he has moved on to bigger and better things. Second pitcher of the year from the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to get picked up. Picking this one up out of the air is Diaz. He fights it off over to the right side of the outfield, on the 2-2 pitch. Underneath it to make the catch on the run is Ryan Smith. Them right fielders staying very busy out here today, out on the diamond. And now Thomas Lukongo coming up to the plate. 0 for 1, grounded out into that 6-4-3 double play that ended the second inning, which the Hoppers batted 8 batters in that frame. Lukongo reached on the walk back in the first, but first pitch swinging against Matt Dallas, who's out there for his now counted 3rd inning of work. He's only allowed the 1 hit. That came off the bat of Trey Brightus, that single back in that previous inning. Trying to make the stop on that ground ball is Rulis, but he was shaded too far towards the middle, and because of it, Lukongo will reach on the 1-out single. Now Cody Rudisilli will make his way up to the plate. Rudisilli, like Lukongo, went 1 for 4 in the game on Thursday against the Unicorns. Rudisilli coming to us from Wofford College. Rudisilli batting just .232 coming into play today. First pitch, ball missing the zone away. A little bit low as well. Rudisilli 0 for 2 on the contest so far. Struck out swinging and missing on the 7th pitch of the at-bat that ended the first frame. And then on that second at-bat back in the 3rd inning, grounded out to Christian Helsel. Rudisilli on the 1-0 pitch, fights through it, swings and misses, evens this count up at 1-1. Lukongo over there at first base. No stolen bases on the year. Rudisilli on the 1-1. Fouls one off, and out of play it goes. So quickly, Dallas working here in this count against Rudisilli. He's not messing around, and nor he should. Working with this 2-run lead. Can't give Seiler the win in this contest. If Dallas can continue to pitch well in this relief role, he will, in fact, be in line for the victory. The 1-2 pitch, lined out there to right center field. It's going to get down. Thinking about third is Lukongo, but that left hand of manager Paul Nochi standing up over there at the third base coach's box, holding off Lukongo. So he stays in scoring position at second base. Rudisilli with his first hit of the day. Back-to-back singles for the catcher and center fielder with 1 out. Brings up Jack Kraft, the right fielder. Those Dippin' Dots were good, though, ladies and gentlemen. First 500 fans got free Dippin' Dots vouchers here this afternoon. That chocolate is rich. Meanwhile, Kraft back out there for his 3rd plate appearance on the day. Reached on a walk and scored in the 2nd inning. He started that 2nd inning off for the Hoppers. And then lined out to first base back in the 3rd. Kraft, big cut. but nothing doing on that one. Kraft earlier on in the year went over to Switzerland as a part of a job swap television show where he, alongside former Utica Unicorn Nico Lolio, went over to Switzerland and played a game called Hornussen, where it's a little tough to explain. You'd really have to search and look it up. It's a sport where you use sort of a club, and there's a little puck where it's set up on a tee, and you spin around like you're playing shot put, but you have the club in your hand, and you try and whack the puck down the field, and there's fielders lined up, you know, hundreds of feet out, and I'm excited to see the final product of that job swap episode. We'll be having a watch party, I believe, with the staff of the USPBL once it is released in the fall. But since Kraft came back from Switzerland, he's been hitting the ball well. Coming to us from Coppin State, Nutley, New Jersey, the 1-2 pitch missing inside. Getting out of the way of that one was Kraft. Kraft batting below 200 here on the year. Batted .240 in the 2017 season with the Diamond Hoppers, and the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Kraft goes down via the swing and the miss. First strikeout on the day for him. 2 up on the base pass, 2 down on the board with Diaz and Kraft. Lacongo waiting at second. Rudisilli over there at first. Gunnar Buhner standing in now, 1 for 2 on the day with a single, a run scored, and a fly out, 2 left. Buhner went 2 for 3 on Thursday with the 2 singles and the sacrifice fly out. Buhner, of course, son of former big leaguer Mr. Jay Buhner. Buhner quickly working a count in his favor. He's looked at 2 straight pitches. Neither of them have hit the zone. And for as well as Matt Dallas has done, the back-to-back singles from Lacongo and Rudisilli could lead to something here as he misses the zone for the 3rd straight time. He's on the verge of walking the bases loaded. Last thing you want to do after allowing those 2 singles. 3-0 pitch to Buhner, in there for a called strike from our home plate umpire. Seiler trying to fight back in this count against Buhner. A good hitter's count as it sits at 3-1. And, of course, on that 3-1 pitch, Buhner going after it. Brings the count full on the hitter. And runners will be in motion as soon as the pitcher goes towards home plate with it. The payoff pitch misses outside. Dallas can't find the zone on that one, and he loads the bases after allowing the 2 singles. Buhner reaches base safely for the 2nd time today. The 2-out walk is recorded, and the Hoppers trying to take advantage as Kevin Watley stands in. If anybody's due here this afternoon, it is Watley. He is the only Hopper to strike out twice. Kraft has a strikeout, Rudisilli has a strikeout, and Sebastian Diaz as well as Brian Davis all have 1. But Watley already with 2 strikeouts on the day, trying to avoid that sombrero as he faces off against Dallas here. That one missing the zone, high and inside. Watley batting below 200 on the year as well. This one misses the zone, and trying to make the toss over there to the first base is Adam Gauthier. The throw beat the runner back to the bag, but it was in the dirt, and it gets past Jack Haranek over there at the first base bag, and because of it, the Hoppers get their 6th run of the game. Everybody moving up 90 feet, and Watley doesn't drive him in, but with that errant throw, in comes the run. 2-0 pitch popped up. If it stays in the park, it will most likely be your third and final out. Haranek underneath it, runs back towards fair territory, but does make the catch before it heads back into the field of play. And the Hoppers get back a run in the home half of the fifth. We're through 5 here at Jimmy John's Field, just a one-run game. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. It'll be the 2-3-4 hitters due up for the Beavers to begin this top half of the 6th inning. Rich Borland here with you. Back out to pitch for the there is in fact a pitching change here for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Coming to us from Chaffey College, the number 44, the right-hander, Tanner Keast. Tanner Keast used to pitch in this USPBL for the Diamond Hoppers back in our 2017 season, and he ended up getting picked up by the Minnesota Twins, but this ball, one hopped and over the fence. Foul territory it goes, though, as the count 2-2 on the batter, Rulis. Tanner Keast relieving Tyler Tamaka, who on the day goes the 3 innings, doesn't allow any hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Very effective day for the reliever. Let's see what Tanner Keast can do as he relieves Tamaka. This ball hit back up the middle, the 2-2 pitch, fought off and driven into center field. The leadoff single for Rulis gets the Beavers going to start off this top of the 6th inning. And as we sit here in this 6th inning, it's 5 minutes shy of the 3 o'clock hour. And with where we're at in this game, want to mention that if you didn't hear yet, I'm sure most of you listening have heard, but the USPBL implementing a 2.5-hour time limit on their games. It reached a national stage, making it to the Washington Post, and it first got released by Tony Paul of the Detroit News, who in his article talks about the new rule and everything that it implements as Rob Paller swings and misses with a big cut to start off his fourth at bat of the afternoon. And you know, it's something that we'll have to keep in mind as we continue on throughout this ball game. Not sure if we'll get to the 9th inning or not, but we're going to do everything in our power to get there. As Paller looks at ball 1, evens this count up at 1-1, but throughout the first 3 games of the 10th weekend at Jimmy John's Field, we did get our 9 innings in, as we try and will try to get each and every single one of our innings in this year. As Paller looks at ball 2, quickly the count moving to 2-1 on the left-hander, coming to us from Columbia. Another one of those Ivy Leaguers. Paller, one of those guys who speaks softly but carries a big stick, and not going to be saying anything nice after getting drilled with that 2-1 fastball. Paller reaching on the hit by pitch. Moving to second is Rulis, and the first 2 men are on for the Beavers to start off this top half of the frame. Showing bunt, but pulling back is Helsel as he stands in for the 4th time this afternoon. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a ground out, but did have a sacrifice fly out that drove in a run back in the 2nd frame. Tanner Keese trying his best out here on the mound, but hasn't been easy. The bunt is shown. Keese fields the ball, throws it over to first, and the sacrifice bunt is recorded. Runners move up and get into even closer of a scoring position. Helsel gets the job done, and for Chris Newell, he doesn't play a lot of small ball, but with just the 1-run lead here in this 6th inning, of course, we're not sure if we're going to get to the 9th inning here today. You start to plan as if this is the near the last inning, and you have to play as if everything is on the line here, as Haranek does get intentionally walked to first base to load up the bases. Not the worst idea if you are Paul Nochi and crew. So the runner on third is Rulis. Paller's at second. Haranek is at first. Gauthier looks at a ball that misses the zone away. Gauthier had thrown that ball errant over to Jack Haranek at first base that allowed the 6th run of the game to score for the Hoppers. The 1-0 pitch, outside corner, called strike 1. Gauthier looking for his 3rd straight walk of the afternoon. Of course, Tanner Keese, that's the last thing you want to do. Beavers already with 1 run that had came in to score via the walk earlier on in this contest. The 1-1 pitch to Gauthier, breaking ball, had good movement on it, but it had started far too inside. Ends up trying to go back into that zone with the front door. Breaking ball was Keast, but a good eye from Gauthier as he's had one all afternoon. 2-1 pitch, that one an easier pitch to lay off of. The fastball at 93 miles an hour misses the zone away, and Gauthier on the verge of working his 3rd consecutive base on balls. The single to Rulis, he's on third. The hit by pitch to Paller, he's at second. And then Haranek getting intentionally walked after Helsel's sacrifice bunt. Gauthier not walking on that pitch. A good strike thrown there from Tanner Keast, and Gauthier chases after it. Count quickly has rung full, and the payoff pitch, here it comes. Gauthier fouling it off, staying alive, at least for one more. Gauthier coming to us from Naples, Florida. Gauthier, not your everyday catcher. He and Hunter Wood switching off back and forth throughout the year. Gauthier, another one of those Ivy Leaguers. This one, a teammate of Thomas Rulis in the past from Dartmouth College. And another foul ball here as he continues to fight here in this contest. Gauthier with just the 186 average coming into play today, playing in his 15th game with these Beavers. Keast trying to get the out. This one might leave the park. Will it be a grand slam for Gauthier? And in fact, it will. A 4 RBI hit. That is the first home run of the season for Gauthier, and he gives the Beavers a 5-run lead. The hits just keep on coming for the Beavers. It's an 11-6 lead. The power has been showing lately. We had 14 hits for the Beavers last night. 13 of them were singles, just the one double from Jack Haranek, but already a home run on the day for the Hoppers. Trey Bridus. Gauthier one-ups him there and drives in 4 with one swing of the bat. Brings in Rulis, Paller, Haranik, and himself. That intentional walk coming back to haunt Mr. Keast. And Gauthier drives in all 4. He works the count at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat. That leads to a grand slam. So a big, big spot there from the catcher. He's got the 2 walks and the 4 RBI grand slam. Just, you can't stop him. He had the day off yesterday, and he was the only batter in this lineup that did not participate in the game yesterday. Same lineup we saw yesterday outside of Hunter Wood. This ball fought back up the middle, and it looks like it's going to drop, and in fact, it will. Out there into center field it goes. The second hit of the day for Seth Freed. That is the 3rd hit of the inning. Batley now standing in a 1-for-3 day with a single, a ground out, and a strikeout. Batley, an all-star with the Beavers. Breaking ball at 83 miles an hour for the first pitch. Batley in the game last night went 2-for-3 with 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and a walk. Batley on the season as this breaking ball reaches the back door. Batley has played in 22 games with these Beavers, 17 hits and 71 at-bats with 15 runs scored. 14 walks, 21 strikeouts, but 7 stolen bases coming into play today. 0-2 pitch. He chases the high heat at 94, and Batley goes down for out number 2. That is strikeout number 1 on the day for Tanner Keast. And now Ryan Smith standing in. Nicholas Campana due up on deck. Breaking ball to Smith, called strike 1. Smith on the day, the right fielder. He's flown out twice to that right field area where Jack Kraft still stands. And before those 2 flyouts to right, he reached on a base on balls in that long second inning. This ball popped up. Looks like it will, in fact, get out of play, and it does. Lucky fan getting a souvenir near the top row at Jimmy John's Field. Big round of applause there. Hard chopping ground ball on the 0-2 pitch to Kevin Watley. He throws it to Gunnar Buhner at second base and gets the force out at the bag, but the Beavers with a grand slam home run from Adam Gauthier gives them 4 more runs in the top of the 6th. They lead it by 5. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland with you. To the home half of the sixth inning we go. The day is done for Matt Dallas. He does a good job in the relief role, goes 3 innings. Does allow the 1 run, but it wasn't earned. 3 hits on the day against Dallas. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts to the 13 batters that he faced. But he now gives way to right-hander, Mr. Deshorn Lake. Deshorn Lake coming to us from actually the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas to be exact. The 6'3", 235-pounder does have 1 outing on the year as this ball's hit hard over to that third base bag. Christian Helsel, though, he has been automatic over there, making every play that has come his way. And Trey Bridis is retired for out number 1. But Deshorn, Mr. Lake, with that 1 game under his belt, it was back on May the 15th, so he has not pitched for the Beavers in nearly 2 months. He has 5 innings in that 1 outing, did not allow any runs, only allowed the 1 hit in the 5 frames, allowed 2 walks, but had 8 strikeouts to the 17 batters that he faced, and not really sure why he hasn't pitched in all that long time with how well he did in his 1 outing. Not sure if it was an injury or if there were just things that he was trying to work on. But this one fought off, shallow left center field. Underneath it is Rob Pallard for out number 2. Quickly 2 up and 2 down to start this home half of the 6th inning. Brian Davis is retired. Brian Pereira coming up to the plate. A 2-for-3 day with 2 singles and an RBI. Good day here for Mr. Pereira. He was interviewed out at the interview desk by our in-game host and ESPN3 color commentator, Mr. Matt Derry. And Pereira coming to us from Annapolis, Maryland. As he looks at the first pitch, called strike right down the heart of the plate, and we're loving what we're seeing here from Deshorn Lake to begin this one. Breaking ball, called strike 2. So quickly, Pereira finding himself deep in the hole. Try and do his best to let that ball travel, see it through, make sure it's a strike, and try and take it to the opposite field. We've already seen him do it once here today on a single. That 0-2 pitch, fastball, missing just inside, but both Deshorn Lake, the shortstop Thomas Rulis, and the third baseman Christian Helsel were leaning towards that first base dugout. They were ready to come back and hit. As this one will continue for Pereira. The 1-2 pitch from Lake. Change up, outside corner, called strike 3. Pereira can't believe it, but we're through 6 innings at Jimmy John's Field. Beavers have a 5-run lead. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're through 6 innings here at Jimmy John's Field on this Sunday matinee contest. The day is done. On the mound for the reliever, Mr. Tanner Keys. He goes just the inning, allows 4 earned runs on 3 hits. Nicholas Campana leading the way for the Beavers to start off this top half of the 7th inning. First pitch swinging, hard hit ground ball over to that hot corner. And making the play is Brian Davis on the first pitch. Campana is retired. Campana, recent college graduate of Hartford University, 4-year starter in the outfield, named the 2018 Conference Player of the Year, where he hit .427 in the conference with an OPS at 1.078. Bachelor of Science in Insurance and Finance at that University of Hartford. Thomas Rulis now standing in, looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat, and Rulis on the day, he's got 2 singles, a walk, a line out to shortstop, and 2 runs scored. Down in the count, he is quickly 0-1, and that 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball, misses the zone low, but the new pitcher on the mound for the Hoppers, coming to us from Lovelock, Nevada, Mr. Don Wanner. Wanner with his 12th relief appearance on the season. He's got 21 1/3 innings pitched. A in-between hop. Watley plays it and makes the play quickly for out number 2. Grounder to third and a grounder to shortstop have started this top of the 7th. Rob Paller now standing in. Down in the count, or excuse me, in the game, he is 0 for 2. Popped out to shortstop, reached on a fielder's choice, was hit by a pitch in the 6th, and reached on a walk in the 2nd. He's got 2 runs scored for these Beavers, 2 of their 11 runs. Setting up inside is Lukongo. Wanner going inside to Paller, and Paller, first pitch swinging. You saw him turn back quickly as Wanner not messing around, going in on number 8. Wanner with that high leg kick to set. Then he brings it back up, and that one missing just outside or high to Paller. But Wanner with a 1-1 record through those 21 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 14 hits, 21 walks, but 26 strikeouts and a 2.95 ERA, a reason he continues to pitch here for these Hoppers. Paller with a good swing, but it goes right to the center fielder, Cody Rudisilli, who makes the catch for the 3rd and final out. And we had to stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. So get up, get out of your seat, and have a dance and stretch it out. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the 7th inning we go. It'll be Sebastian Diaz, Thomas Lukongo, and Cody Rudisilli to start off this home half of the frame. Diaz on the afternoon, 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a flyout. Second pitch of the at-bat, same as the first. That one missing the zone. New arm on the mound for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Deshaun Lake goes the inning. Ends up getting a strikeout against the 3 batters that he faced. He ended the inning with the strikeout to Brian Pereira. Got a ground out from Trey Bridus and a fly out from Brian Davis. But the new arm on the mound for the Beavers, number 24, the left-hander, coming to us from Edenton, North Carolina, and Richmond Hill High School. Kevin Matthews pitching in his 2nd season with the Beavers. He actually pitched in 6 games for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in 2017. And on the 3-1 pitch, Sebastian Diaz works the walk, a leadoff walk for these Hoppers to start this home half of the 7th. And now Thomas Lukongo stands in. Lukongo looking at ball 1 to begin the at-bat. Sebastian Diaz heading all the way to third base, and you know, it looked like he might have missed second base. It was very close, but getting in there to second with the stolen base is Diaz. The ball gets into center field, and he takes third right as he was getting into second. He had no stopping, and so he's now all the way over there at third base. Nobody out here on the board, as standing in with the 2-0 count now is Thomas Lukongo. Looks at 2 straight. Kevin Matthews in that 2017 season with the Beavers had 6 outings, 28 innings pitched, a 2-1 record. Allowed 8 hits in those 28 innings. But how about this? 20 walks allowed to 48 strikeouts and a 1.61 ERA. But a 4-pitch walk now to Lukongo. Back-to-back base on balls brings runners to the corners. Not a good start here for Matthews. And out to talk with his pitcher is Chris Newell, the manager of the Beavers. And there is an arm getting loose out there. And it looks, and you better believe it, I don't even need to pull out my binoculars. That out there in the right field bullpen is Brian Heldman, as that delivery, unique compared to everyone else in this league. That sidearm approach, submarine, I should say. But for Matthews, you got to fight back, bear down, and throw some strikes here. Diaz reached on the 5-pitch walk. Lukongo not having to swing or look at any strikes. So the runner's on the corners, and if you're Matthews, just throw strikes and let things happen. As Cody Rudisilli stands in, looks at called strike 1. Rudisilli on the afternoon, 1 for 3. Had a single in his last at-bat in the 5th. Hits a hard ground ball over to Rulis. Rulis doesn't have to even think about it, as he underhands it to the second baseman, Seth Freed, and then rifling over it to first is Freed, where Haranek makes the catch, and that Trico double play is recorded. The 6-4-3 double play is recorded. Run comes in to score. So the score now 7-11. Lukongo out via the 6-4. And Rudisilli grounding out into the 6-4-3 double play. Huge spot there for Matthews, as John Kraft, nicknamed Jack, standing in, fouls off the first pitch he sees, off of his bat, off of his body, and off to the ground it goes. Lefty-lefty matchup. Advantage Matthews so far. And look at that. Best pitch of the afternoon for the left-hander. The breaking ball right over the heart of the plate. Fools Kraft a little bit, and Matthews, after the 2 walks to start this frame. That double play was huge, and now the strikeout. Can Gauthier complete it? Yes, he can. Haranek holds on, and we are through 7 here at Jimmy John's Field. Beavers out in front still by 4. Head to the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're through 7 innings here at Jimmy John's Field. 324 on your dial as Christian Helsel stands in to lead the way for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers to start off this home half of the 8th inning. Helsel with a couple of sacrifices on the day, one in the air, one on the ground. Drove in a run with that sacrifice flyout in the 2nd inning. Moved some guys over in the 6th with a sacrifice bunt. Other than that, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking and a ground out to third base. Helsel quickly in this at-bat, working the count in his favor, 2-0 against Warner, who's out there for his 2nd inning of work. The 2-0 pitch might have been a little inside, but Helsel saw it out of the hand of Warner, liked it, went after it, and the count now 2-1 with the swing and miss. The 2-1 pitch, grounded over to that third base bag. Not an easy play for Brian Davis, but can he make it? Yes, he can. Ranging to his left, making the spin and making the throw. The stretch from Pereira at first completes the play, and Helsel, for the 2nd time today, is retired via the 5-3 putout. So now Jack Haranek stands in. The wind blowing towards left field. Haranek with 3 home runs on the year. 27 hits coming into play today. He now has 29 of them. That's good for 2nd in the league behind the Unicorns, Dan Ward and Carter Grode, who are tied for the league lead with 32. But here comes hit number 30 on the year. Haranek with a long single. He continues to show his offensive prowess on the season. 3rd hit of the day. He was also intentionally walked before this young man, Mr. Adam Gauthier, took one for a ride back in that 6th inning where he drove in both himself, Haranek, Paller, and Rulis when he put one way out there to that left field area. Let's see what he can do here against Don Warner. Haranek, the runner at first. Gauthier trying to drive in some more runs. Tries to hold back on that first pitch, but cannot. Makes contact with that bat, does the baseball, and it goes into foul territory. Warner back to work. That one in the dirt, getting away from Lukongo, making his way towards 2nd base with ease is Haranek, and heads up base running there. Lukongo blocked the ball, but could not find it as it spun back up in the air, went down that first baseline. He was looking behind him. Haranek getting into scoring position. And Gauthier trying to get his 5th RBI of the day. He's been yet to have been retired. 2 walks as well outside of that grand slam as he fights off the 1-1 pitch into the protective netting. Count quickly 1-2 on the catcher, coming to us from Naples, Florida. This heat getting to a lot of people, but probably not Gauthier, who's definitely used to this, coming from Naples. At breaking ball, yes, he did in fact go around, and Gauthier is retired for the first time today. Out number 2 is recorded. And Warner gets his 2nd out of the inning. Out there at second still is Haranek after he got there on that wild pitch from Warner. And now Seth Freed standing in. Great day at the plate for the second baseman. A double, single, walk, and a run scored. Freed coming to us from Ball State University in the Mid-American Conference. This ball, 92 miles an hour, missing just inside. Warner, like I mentioned, coming to us from Lovelock, Nevada. Freed, Bay City, Michigan, as Freed looks at the 2nd consecutive pitch that misses the zone. He worked the count 2-2 before he had that double in that 2nd inning. Reached on the walk in the 2nd as well. He had 2 at-bats in that inning. The 2-0 pitch hit on a line to center field. Making the catch on the run is Cody Rudisilli, and we are halfway through 8 here at Jimmy John's Field. Beavers out in front by 4. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the 8th inning we go. Gunnar Buhner, Kevin Watley, and then the top of the order due up for these Diamond Hoppers, but it looks as if this will be our last inning. Mentioned the USPBL 2.5 with that 2.5-hour time limit being implemented coming into this 10th weekend here at the USPBL. We had successfully gotten through 9 innings in our first 3 games of this new rule area of the league, and Buhner, after looking at ball 1, swings and fouls off the second pitch of the at-bat, evening the count up at 1-1. But with this new time limit, no new inning will start after the 2.5-hour mark, and with this game beginning at 1:05, no new inning will start after the 3:35 mark. So I would imagine that this will be our final frame, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. New arm on the mound for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. The day is done for Kevin Matthews. He goes an inning, allows 1 unearned run, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. But he now giving way to Brian Heldman, who, right on cue, fields that hard ground ball hit back to him and makes the play, I would not say with ease. That one was not an easy play. That hard hit ball back up the middle, finds the leather of Heldman, and he makes the play back up the middle. And the San Diego State University native coming to us from Round Rock, Texas on the year. There's not enough good things that I can say about this right-hander. The submarine thrower making his 17th relief appearance on the season, 19 1/3 innings pitched with a 3-1 record, only 16 hits allowed in the 19 1/3 innings pitched, only 8 walks allowed to 20 strikeouts, but the most impressive part, that .47 ERA, and Kevin Whatley helping that ERA out. He's swinging on the first pitch and ends up popping out to that third baseman, Mr. Christian Helsel, for out number 2. And after Heldman recorded out number 1, Helsel helping out his pitcher, quickly getting out number 2. And now standing in back to the top of this order we go in Trey Breitis. Breitis on the day, 3 for 4 with 2 singles, a home run, a ground out to third, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. Breitis coming to us from Woodbridge, Virginia, trying to keep his day hot, as Heldman not an easy guy to go up against, as the 0-1 pitch, there goes Heldman from that normal delivery, not his normality, but normal for everyone else, over the top, misses the zone high and away. Breitis holds off on it, and the count evens at 1-1. Heldman sets, delivers, slider. Did he go around? First base umpire said that he in fact did, so quickly Breitis down in this count 1-2 after he couldn't hold back on that breaking ball from Heldman. That .47 ERA, best in the league by any pitcher. Heldman has had nothing but success this year. Goes back over the top with that breaking ball. Helsel with the throw, and he finishes the Hoppers with the last 2 outs of the 8th. And that, in fact, is the end of your ball game. So the first game where we will not complete the 9 innings, but in the end, the Beavers get the victory, win this one by a final score of 11-7. And overall, it was the offense that got it started. They had 7 hits and 5 runs through the first 2 frames. Then that grand slam from Mr. Adam Gauthier in that 6th inning put him over the top, and they win it by that score of 4 runs, 11-7. Your final here at the ballpark. It was a fun weekend here at Jimmy John's Field. The Beavers moved to 12-12 on the season. Hoppers drop a game below 500, dropped to 12-13, but we'll be back here at Jimmy John's Field on Wednesday, where the Utica Unicorns will face off against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It is guys' night out at the ballpark. Your buy one, get ones for any guy that wants to come out to the ballpark and have some fun. So first pitch, 7:05. Gates open at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. We will see you back here at the ballpark for some more baseball in just a few short days. But for everyone here at the USPBL, my name is Rich Borland. We'll see you on Wednesday. You stay classy, Utica.